kriminal na isasampa. We respectfully urge the DPWH to refer this matter for the filing of criminal cases, including multiple violations of Article 217 in relation to Articles 48 and 171, Paragraph 4 of the Revised Penal Code, or malversation through falsification of public documents. For one, the falsification of documentation, particularly the use of manipulated photos in contractors' progress billing reports, later certified by DPWH officials, is a blatant violation of this provision. Mr. President, even if we do away with said complex crime and file cases for malversation alone, kung ang tampok na halaga ay higit 8.8 million pesos, reclusion perpetua o pagkakakulong ng 20 years and 1 day to 40 years ang parusa. Next is the prosecution for violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, Republic Act 3019, Section 3E, causing undue injury to the government or giving a private party unwarranted benefits, advantage, or preference through manifest partiality, evident bad faith, or gross inexcusable negligence. And Section 3G, entering on behalf of the government into contracts manifestly and grossly disadvantageous to it. And Section 8, in relation to Republic Act 1379, unexplained wealth. We also strongly endorse the filing of charges for violation of Republic Act 7080 or the Anti-Plunder Law, Mr. President. Sapat naman pong basihan ang nakakapanglabot na laki ng halaga ng mga anomalya sa flood control. Bilyones po ang pinag-uusapan nating nauwi sa ghost projects. Ang marangyang pamumuhay ng mga sangkot na opisyal ng DPWH at ang daang milyong kaya nilang ipatalo sa mga kasino ay kabilang sa magpapatunay sa paglabag sa batas na ito. These facts show that the accumulated ill-gotten wealth has undeniably breached the minimum threshold for plunder, which is 50 million pesos. Dahil ang bawat isang manumalyang kontrata ay isang hayagang paglabag sa batas, malinaw po na matutugunan nito ang requirement ng anti-plunder law na nagsasaad na ang ill-gotten wealth ay dapat nagmula sa paulit-ulit o serye na mga gawain upang makaipon ng yaman sa pamamagitan ng pandaraya. Mr. President, we likewise detail the infractions of the BGC boys in connection with their gambling spree. Sa paggamit ng fictitious names o aliases upang itago ang kanilang identity sa mga casinos, easily, Mr. President, this is a clear violation of Article 178 of the Revised Penal Code, or the use of fictitious name and concealing true name. To further sustain the use of their pseudo-identities, the BGC boys used fake driver's licenses to gain entry into casinos, thereby violating Section 31, Article 2 of Republic Act 4136, which expressly outlaws the making, use, or possession of licenses in imitation or similitude of those legally issued by the LTO. Sa actual na garapalang paglalaro sa kasino, ito po ay violation ng Presidential Decree number 1869, Republic Act 6713, and various memorandum circulars prohibiting and penalizing government officials for entering and much more for playing in casinos. Mr. President, the Anti-Money Laundering Act as amended is likewise violated as the proceeds of graft and plunder are transacted and converted by purchasing casino chips and subsequently cashing them out after minimal gaming, thereby disguising the true source of the funds. Considering the glaring violation of the Anti-Money Laundering Act by these big-time gamblers, we urge the Anti-Money Laundering Council to immediately initiate an action for the freezing of the bank accounts of these individuals and the subsequent prosecution for violating the law itself. Finally, Mr. President, umaapaw din ang kinaharap na kasong administratibo ng mga DPWH officials na ito. Among these are grave misconduct, serious dishonesty, gross neglect of duty, and or conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service. violations of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, and the Code of Conduct pertaining to the practice of their profession as regulated by the Professional Regulation Commission. Our goal is not only punitive but also preventive. So we do it through reforms in our legislation, Mr. President. Amendment of Republic Act 4566 as amended by PD number 1746 or the Contractors License Law to institutionalize the perpetual absolute ban of blacklisted contractors sponsored ghost and substandard projects and higher penalties for conflicts of interest brought by interlocking positions in related industries or entities. Amendment to increase penalties for conflicts of interest, especially those public officials and employees who may also act as contractors under Republic Act 6713 or Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. Transparency initiatives in the budget process and accountability measures in the planning and budgeting of infrastructure projects. Kung walang detailed architectural and engineering design or DAED, wala dapat pondo. DPWH should also publish DAED, Program of Works and Detailed Unit Price Analysis or DUPA. Mr. President, more than ever, we need people speaking up, not talking down on the efforts we have built. Words such as, wala ring mangyayari dyan, wala namang makukulong, at umpisa lang yan, malilimot din yan, do not help our cause, Mr. President, but only embolden those who have robbed us of our hard-earned taxpayers' money. In my first privilege speech, I spoke about the flooded gates of corruption. Today, we turned our sight into a darker place, the flooded gates of hell. There, we can find those who rob the Filipino people, drowning not in flood waters but in sins and moral decay of the corrupt and greedy officials and contractors. Sana, sa madaling panahon, malunod ang may mga kasalanan sa dami ng kasong kanilang haharapin. Mr. President, these people have reduced the lives of our flood-stricken countrymen into living hell. It is time to give them what they rightly deserve. Thank you, Mr. President.
I see that the Senator Rodante Marcoleta is seeking the floor. What is the pleasure of Senator Marcoleta?
I'd like to know, Mr. President, if our good Senate President pro tempore would yield to a few questions.
Willingly to the still the chairman of the Committee on Public Accountability, the good senator from Tarlac and the Republic of the Philippines.
You may proceed then.
Maraming
Senator
salamat
Marcoleta.
po, Mr. President. Mr. President, kanina pong pag-umpisang mag-present ang ating Senate President pro tempore, ay laking pasalamat ko sapagkat nakita ko yung resulta ng kanyang personal na pag-iimbestiga. Doon po sa kauna-unahang slide, Mr. President, nakita ko po yung isang text message na galing po yata kay Yusek Catalina Cabral. Hindi ko po masyadong maintindihan. Pwede po bang pakikwento po ninyo, Mr. President, ano po ba yung pinanggalingan noon?
Ang pinanggalingan po, nag-congratulate siya sa ating nakaupong Senate President. But this message was sent through the staff of our Senate President, Mr. President. Ang sinasabi doon, congratulations po, no?
That was after July 1.
After
July 1st.
proclamation or after oath-taking, Mr. President.
After the oath-taking, if I distinctly remember.
So, dahil siguradong panalo na po tayo, kayo rin po, dahil nag-oath-taking na tayo, nag-message agad yung Undersecretary Cabral sa kanyang staff at sinasabi, congratulations, baka mo merong ako may... Andyan po sa text message, sa Viber message, na sinasabi, para ma-align do sa mga priorities at para maiwasan yung redundancy, siya nang gagawa ng paraan. Ang sabay ang sinabi na para maihabol o maisama na sa NEP. So nag-iimbita siya na mag-submit kayo, parang sinasabi, 500 million pesos yata, ibig sabihin ng 500 yan eh. Kasi hindi naman malinaw, pero ang sinabi, po kayo, 500 for now. For now. Ibig sabihin, for now, sige, magpasok kayo mga 500 million pesos worth of projects na sa inyo manggagaling. So ito po yung sinasabi natin na isang kamalian ng budgeting or budget process. Dahil ang trabaho, mandato ng Kongreso, both houses, legislation. Yung pong NEP, nasa budget preparation phase na kung saan exclusive domain ng executive branch. Pero bakit po, dahil ganyan ang nangyayari, mismo sa DPWs na nanggagaling na magpasok na kayo rito. Hindi ho ba pakikialam yun sa mandate o sa exclusive authority ng executive branch?
Salamat po sa sagot na yon, Mr. President. Ako po yung naniniwala na talagang wala namang initiative na nanggaling sa inyo at siya'y kusa niyang inialok po yung inaakala niya sigurong makakatulong o makakapagbigay ng kasiyahan sa inyo. Yun po yung akala niya.
Opo. At agad pong tinanggihan ng ating Senate President.
Alam ko po.
Sinabi niya agad sa staff niya, wag, ayoko ba't ako maglalagay dyan?
Kasi po kaya ako naitanong to, Mr. President, kahapon po, ayaw pa niyang aminin na dahil sa pagtatanong ko po na sa kanya, sinabi ko bakit lumilitaw kahit anong ibigay na ceiling ng DBM, pinapalitan mo, sabi ko sa kanya. Ayaw po niyang aminin yun, wala raw po siyang kinalaman kung ang pag-uusapan ay yung paglilista. Wala raw siyang kinalaman. Ngayon po, malinaw na nagsisinungaling talaga siya sapagkat naipakita ko po kahapon, Mr. President, lalong-lalo na po sa flood control projects, yun pong mga insertions, aminin man niya't hindi, ngayon po inapatunayan na natin, ay talagang siya po talaga yung gumagawa dahil siya po yung Undersecretary ng Planning Services. At lalong-lalo na po doon sa tinatawag na FAP. Ito po yung Foreign Assisted Projects. Yun po malinaw na malinaw. Ipinakita ko po, Mr. President, yung sulat ng DBM noong July 2023 na kung saan sinabi mismo sa kanya, please adhere strictly doon sa mga ceilings na binibigay namin sa inyo. Dahil napansin po ng DBM, magmula po ng 2022, 2023, pinapalitan po niya hanggang sa 2024. Ayaw po niyang aminin na siya po ang may kinalaman noon. Ngayon ko lang napatunayan, salamat Senate President Pro Tempore na ngayon ay malinaw na malinaw, hindi na niya pwedeng sabihin at hindi na siya pwedeng magsinungaling na wala siyang kinalaman dito. Ang totoo po nito, Mr. President, ang dami pong gustong tumestigo na meron po siyang 10 paboritong contractors na siguro sa mga susunod na panahon, kung sino man po yung hahawak ng Blue Ribbon Committee, isa po siguro mabuting direksyon na ituntunin ito. At marami rin pong palagian na pumupunta sa kanyang opisina na mga politiko. Gusto ko pong pasalamatan ng ating Senate President Pro Tempore sapagkat mukhang yun pong mga kawani o mga opisyalis ng DPWH na matutuntun na natin at alam ko po na talagang tatagos ito hanggang sa former Secretary ng Department of Public Works. Kasi kahapon po, gusto niya nang sabihin na lahat ng daw po ng nangyayari sa kanyang opisina ay meron namang basbas ng Secretary ng Department of Public Works. Ngunit ang gusto ko pong tuntunin, Mr. President, kung nakita na po natin unti-unti at saan papunta at sinong may kasalanan sa Department of Public Works at nailitaw na rin po sa pagsusuri at sa personal na pag-iimbestiga ng ating colleague, ang mga contractors na talagang Kung pagsasamahin po natin mga contractors na ito at saka yung mga